Yo! Traditional cultures believe that astronomical bodies like our sun are alive, intelligent, and conscious, having emotions and free will. This was the default position throughout history, even among scientists. In the Middle Ages, people generally assumed that the universe was alive, the whole universe a living being. This is Panpsychism, formerly known as animism. However, in the 17th century, the mechanistic revolution arose, breaking with the previous worldview. Afterward, all nature was seen as strictly mechanical, the universe a machine made of non conscious matter. Nobody actually debated our sun's consciousness. It was suddenly assumed to be non conscious by prevailing materialistic philosophers. Consciousness became isolated into the only physical containers we know that contain it, brains. So we were left with this idea that consciousness only exists in these tiny little areas of the universe. Before the 17th century, this cerebrocentric view of consciousness was apparently non existent. Why re embrace panpsychism now? Due to a crisis within science, the existence of human consciousness, and nobody understands how brains generate consciousness. Moreover, panpsychism has now entered the realm of serious debate within the scientific community. Panpsychists postulate a mind in all self organizing systems, which exist at every level of complexity. It does not apply to systems that are not self organizing, such as chairs, tables, computers, motorized vehicles, etc. Some things do not organize themselves, they are organized by us. Though consciousness need not be associated with brains, a needed criteria for consciousness is ability to make decisions among various possibilities. Our sun could certainly make decisions that have effects. Consider his solar flares and coronal mass ejections. The directions which he predicts them greatly affect what happens in our solar system. Our sun influences what happens on Earth, modulating her in 11-year cycles and in more subtle ways. And 11-year cycles were periodically absent. So our sun, Sol, is unlike clockwork mechanisms that just go on predictably. He is extremely variable. Nobody knows what he will do next, which is why NASA has space weather forecasts. Besides, our sun is essentially electrical. Plenty of the electrical activity is highly indeterminate. Our sun's mind could influence his physical activity via electrical activity. Consider that our minds interact with our brains via the interface of electromagnetic fields between them. Alpha waves, gamma waves, theta waves, etc. are associated with different types of consciousness. Overwhelming evidence supports the electrophysiological basis of mental activity. The interface between minds and brains is via electrical patterns, which explains our consciousness. You can also affect people's consciousness by electromagnetic stimulation of the brain. Though memories being stored in brains is a dogma of science, there is very little evidence for it, and it is surprisingly difficult to demonstrate. Scientists have tried for 100 years to do so, failing time and again. Perhaps they failed because memories are not stored inside brains. Brains may be more like TV receivers than video recorders, turning into influences from their own past states, which travel via morphic resonance, the influence of like upon like within self-organizing systems across space. Morphic resonance is the idea that there is a kind of memory in all nature. In addition, all self-organizing systems may have a collective memory. For example, each animal species may draw upon a collective memory of its kind. So perhaps our entire galaxy has a galactic mind, stars being like cells in a body, each galaxy like a cell in a universal body, or anima mundi as coined by Plato. Learning to communicate with our sun directly would be far cheaper than satellites and solar probes. Replacing reductionist science with holistic science could take us much further than any other rival cosmology. Take care.